with Ms. Tovar. He is at the facility. He's doing well, struggling with showering, but
Okay.
they've worked on it. He didn't want to use anyone else's clothes, but his brother dropped off clothes. So
Okay, awesome.
hopefully that resolves. I did also get in touch with the probation with Mr. Julian Gonzalez. I think he's a supervisor with probation. So
Yes.
he's scheduled for a MIC intake
Okay.
on June 3rd.
Okay.
So I asked Josephine Recovery Center if there was any kind of way, like, do they refer them out? They can refer him somewhere else, but he has a lot of physical limitations.
I'm sorry, he what?
He has physical limitations.
Yeah, he does.
Like his legs swell, so their only options are Crosspoint and ITP, but she says she doesn't know if his physical limitations will allow that because they do a lot of walking and classes throughout those campuses.
Well, you know what? If you could talk to Crosspoint and let them know the situation, because I noticed his health issues and I don't know if he's receiving medical treatment for that or if he has a primary care physician. Just see if they'll allow him to be there and then they can help him set up his medical appointments. Because I'm sure, and I'm not a medical doctor, of course, but it appears he probably has high blood pressure, probably hasn't been taking care of himself. He may or may not have diabetes. Vashawn, can you come up? She says that they may see about transferring him to Crosspoint. But I want to make sure that he remains at the facility where he is until we have a place for him, because I still don't think his brother is appropriate placement.
Oh, okay, Judge. I did ask, because since his intake was on the 3rd, I asked.
The courtroom on the second floor of the Bexar County Justice Center was already moving before most people had finished their coffee. It was a Tuesday morning. The docket was long. Judge Stephanie Boyd was at the bench, robe slightly crooked on the right side, a detail her clerk Bashan had caught, and she had acknowledged with a laugh.
Bashan, my robe is on the right side today. Yeah, I appreciate you for telling me.
The wheat, Phi was dropping.
I send you the link every day, but today I'm putting it on my Wi-Fi, so it shouldn't drop.
Okay.
I'm using my hotspot on my phone.
The case management system called Odyssey was taking its time loading.
Hello. Just give me a moment. Odyssey is playing games today. All right. So it says preparing your session. Here we go. Now it says getting the case.
A defense attorney was asking about a plea deadline for a client who lived 8 hours away.
Sure.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
I have a case set on tomorrow's. It's for plea deadline. My client lives 8 hours away. The state's going to make an offer today by email. Would it be possible to get an extension for a second?
Oh, he can appear by Zoom.
Another attorney was requesting a Zoom appearance. A man named Daryl Payne was somewhere on the docket and somewhere in a facility, and his case had been here before. This is not a courthouse drama about a single crime.
Thank you. Thank you. And then we have Daryl Payne.
This is a document of what happens every morning in courts that handle mental health cases alongside standard criminal dockets.
Oh, and Vashawn, do we have an update on Mr. Payne? Okay. Yeah, because he's on the docket today.
Yeah, Christine was supposed to.
Courts where the same names appear again and again, not because the system has failed to process them, but because the system has no clear answer for what processing them actually means. Daryl Payne had a history the judge knew by name. She did not need to read from a file when she spoke about him. She referenced it from memory, which is its own kind of data point about how many times a case has to return before it becomes institutional knowledge rather than a pending matter. The attorney representing Payne gave the court an update. He was at the facility. He was doing well by certain measures. He was struggling with showering. His brother had dropped off clothes
Mr.
because he had
Barr,
refused to
is at
wear
the
anyone
facility.
else's.
He's doing well, struggling with showering, but
Okay.
they've worked on it. He didn't want to use anyone else's clothes, but his brother dropped off clothes. So
Okay, awesome.
hopefully that resolves. I did also get in touch with with Mr. Julian Gonzalez. I think he's a supervisor with probation. So
Yes.
he's scheduled for a MIC intake
Okay.
on June 3rd.
Okay.
So I asked Josephine Recovery Center if there was any kind of way, like, do they refer them out? They can refer him somewhere else, but he has a lot of physical limitations.
I'm sorry, he what?
His legs swelled. Walking long distances was difficult. The Josephine Recovery Center had flagged that Crosspoint and ITP, the two referral options available to them, both required significant physical mobility across sprawling campuses, and they were not certain his body could sustain that. His intake with probation supervision was scheduled for June 3rd.
Yeah, he does.
Like his legs swell, so their only options are Crosspoint and ITP, but she says she doesn't know if his physical limitations will allow that because they do a lot of walking and classes throughout those.
His attorney had already called a supervisor at probation named Julian Gonzalez. The attorney had also called back to check on whether the facility could hold him at least until the 3rd. They said yes. Then the attorney said something that was not legally significant, but was humanly precise. The client wanted to go back to his brother's house. He wanted that. He had said so. And the attorney was obligated to present it. The judge's response was not a ruling. It was a recitation. Every time that has happened, she said, something ends up happening where he wanders off and then we are right back here. She was not speaking abstractly. She was describing a cycle she had watched from that bench with enough repetition that it had become a predictive model. He stands before her. He says he will do well, Miss Stephanie. He leaves. He stops taking his medication. He wanders. He comes back. Competency is a legal term with a specific definition.
So not sure if we could have a status or something so he can present that to you, Judge.
Yeah, here's the problem with that. And I think you know what the problem with that is.
Yes.
Every time that happens, something ends up happening where he wanders off, and then we're right back here.
In a criminal court, a defendant is considered competent to stand trial if they understand the nature of the charges against them and can assist in their own defense. That is the legal floor. It has nothing to do with whether a person can take care of themselves outside a structured facility. It has nothing to do with whether they will remember to take medication at a consistent time each day. It has nothing to do with whether someone in their household is equipped, trained, or legally authorized to supervise psychiatric care. The law asks a narrow question. The courthouse has to live with the full answer. What the transcript of this morning's session reveals is a judge, a defense attorney, a court coordinator, and a network of social workers and facility staff all trying to build a functional care plan inside a legal framework that was not designed to build care plans. They are scheduling status hearings. They are calling managers at recovery centers. They are asking whether referrals are possible and whether mobility limitations disqualify a man from the only programs available to him. They are doing this between docket calls, between a Zoom request for a client living 8 hours away, between troubleshooting the case management software, between lining up jurors for a separate trial beginning at 10. Crosspoint and ITP are residential treatment programs. They are not prisons and they are not hospitals. They occupy a middle category that the mental health system depends on, and that is chronically under-resourced, geographically limited, and built for people who can physically navigate their campuses. A man whose legs swell, who has probable untreated hypertension, who may or may not have diabetes, who the judge openly speculates has likely not been taking care of himself, that man does not fit cleanly into any available slot. The judge noted that she was not a medical doctor. She said it plainly.
Well, you know what, if you could talk to Cross Point and let them know the situation, because I think I noticed his health issues and I don't know if he's receiving medical treatment for that or if he has a primary care physician. Just see if they'll allow him to be there and then they can help him set up his medical appointments. Because I'm sure, and I'm not a medical doctor, of course, but it appears he probably has high blood pressure, probably hasn't been taking care of himself. He may or may not have diabetes. Vashawn, can you come up?
She was making an educated inference from observable symptoms about what was probably happening to his body, and she was asking the attorney to contact Cross Point and explain the situation and see if they would make an accommodation. That is a judge doing the work of a care coordinator because a care coordinator either does not exist in this case or does not have the authority to hold all the pieces together the way a judge can.
Okay, and if you need me to talk to him, I will gladly tell him that every time we've allowed that, he stood before me and said, "I'm going to do well, Miss Stephanie." Then he ends up walking somewhere, never returns, gets off his meds, and then we're back here. And I don't want to see that happen again.
The attorney said she would talk to Daryl himself. The judge said if the attorney needed her to speak with him directly, she would.
All right. So when do y'all want to come back on this to get an update? Definitely it should be after June 3rd. So you're thinking the following week or 2 weeks or?
Probably the following week, Judge, because I know that JRC is also a short-term solution, so they might want to.
She would tell him herself what she had watched happen before.
All right, Norma, are you okay with setting this the second week in June?
Will be here.
Okay, will you be back the third week in June?
I will.
All right, let's do it the third week in June then. Third week in June.
June 15th.
I'll be here.
June
All right, the
15th.
16th. Okay, we'll put it down for June 16th.
Okay.
They settled on a status date. Third week of June, June 16th. The case moved forward in the docket.
Oh, we are ready. All right, so Mr. Montalvo, if I can see you. All right, Norma, set Mr. Montalvo for next week.
Is that Tuesday, Judge?
That'll be Monday.
Okay.
All right.
Montalvo was set for the following Monday. Zachary Simmons was in custody, Mr. Cox's case to be taken up in the afternoon.
May I ask what we're going to do with the other case on the docket? Zachary Simmons set for trial as well?
Oh, let me look at that.
He's in
Just-
custody. It's Mr. Cox's case.
Oh, he's coming, Kenise Cox is coming over. So we'll take that up in the afternoon probably. Thank you.
The jury for a separate trial was being lined up in the hallway. The morning continued. The single fact that carries the full weight of this transcript is not dramatic. Daryl Payne was not in the courtroom. He was at a facility struggling with showering, waiting for his brother's clothes, scheduled for a probation intake on June 3rd, with legs that swelled and a history of walking away from every placement that did not hold him formally. His case was on the docket as an update. It would be on the docket again on June 16th as another update. And the question of where he goes next remained open, not because anyone in that room had stopped trying, but because every door they could legally open led to a threshold his body or his history, made it difficult to cross. Courts that handle mental health dockets are not mental health systems. They are courts that have absorbed mental health functions because those functions had nowhere else to land. The paperwork is filed. The dates are set. The judge remembers your name, and the cycle continues until something changes that no one in that courtroom has the authority to change alone.